I left my watch, my phone downstairs in the basement. So I need to have some idea how long this show is going. So I just have to roll with it. It's showtime. I don't know. I know what I'm going to talk about. It's so much stuff going on. But on the show, what I talk about in the show every week, and I always tell people, if you only watch, sometimes the show's a half an hour, sometimes an hour. But if you channel surfing through Viewpoint, and you only watch 1 minute, hopefully you get something out of it. I don't expect people to watch the whole hour. It's nice if you do, if you get that kind of time. I'm a channel surfer. Sometimes I catch the show because I forget when it's on. Sometimes I catch the show, and I watch a few minutes of it, and I go to the ball game and come back, and that kind of stuff. But and all the videos are on the internet. If you're on the internet, they're on the internet. You can watch them, or you have a smartphone. You type in Marc Sims, Viewpoint, Chicago, or public access, whatever. It's easy. I pop up on your smartphone. I don't have a smartphone because I'm cheap. But what I talk about is clean neighborhoods, safe neighborhoods with excellent schools. Clean neighborhoods, safe neighborhoods with excellent schools. Here in the African American community, we're falling apart. I love telling my customers at home, customers at work, that in 1962 I was born in Negro, because we were Negroes evidently in 1962. African Americans, we were colors for a while, we were black for a while, now we're African American, and you have a lot of children, because 20% of black men marry outside the African American family, which is fine. And we always had mixed race people, and the slave master had his liberties with his slaves, and that's why Marc Sims looks the way he does, which is cool. I'm all good with it. I had Slimo Akil on last month. If you go to Slimo Akil, Marc Sims Chicago, Viewpoint Chicago, whatever, you see the video on the internet. And he talks about African Americans having these dueling identities. That's why Slimo Akil is brilliant. And we need educated people. We need public intellectuals. When I mean educated, these folks are just well read. They read a lot. And we need people who read a lot of stuff and a wide variety of things so they can analyze, contextualize, and deconstruct stuff so we can understand what's going on. So the construct of race is, of course, and here in America, was to maintain white supremacy, and has done a very good job. So you have people who are biracial, multicultural, and whatever, and that's cool too. But what it means to be African American, or a person who is a descendant of the slaves, which I am, it's always changed. And another 50, 100 years, definitely another 100 years, it'll have some significance historically, but culturally, everybody will probably be Americans in another 100 years. Who knows? I know the racist conservative Republicans are going down kicking and screaming, but they days are numbered, because it's just this world is a multicultural world, everything, and of course the powers that be want to continue to run things. I get that. I understand. I ain't stupid, but the freight train has left the building, people. It's gonna run right over you. So what it means to be African American has always changed, but I'm still concerned because I was born in '62, raised in the 60s and 70s, been here in this neighborhood, in the Auburn Gresham neighborhood, for how long I've been here? All my life, basically. And it's imploding right before our very eyes. Well, it's dwindling. It's in decline. And that's okay, because when I was a kid, there's parts of Roseland, and it was white folks on Damon Avenue when I was a kid on 87th Street, and there was white folks in Roseland. I remember as a wee small kid, I was seeing white folks in Inglewood back in the day. 40-something years ago when I was a wee small child. When the Sears was the anchor store of Halsted, it seemed beautiful. And the Gately's People store was the anchor of the Michigan Avenue, South Michigan Avenue shopping district over there in Roseland. But I saw it all fall apart. And if you were a certain age, you saw it fall apart. Especially if I'm in my 50s, you were in your 60s, 70s, you definitely saw it fall apart. And it is what it is. So when what's a time where African Americans, black people moved in and white folks moved out. That's cool. But in these old neighborhoods, a lot of us are moving out, dying off, whatever. But ain't nobody really moving in, because nobody wants to live with poor black people. Go to the north side. See, a lot of our frame of reference is only about a 4 or 5 square block radius. You really have to go take a tour of Chicago. Those of you, I'm a limo driver, so I drive around. I'm blessed to do that. Okay, I get it. But do a tour of Chicago. I have teenagers, and everyone, and although they're teenagers, they're grown. Sometimes we still go for a little family trip. Let's go for a ride with the family. And that's what you, although they're grown, they still my children. And we go for a ride. And we go see parts of Chicago and some of the suburbs that we normally don't see. And your children, your grandchildren need to see the world outside the neighborhood. That's why I'm sort of obsessed with the idea that I know we're not going to make more money than the good white folks in Lincoln Park. The European Americans who live in Lincoln Park, most of them have college degrees. A lot of them making 75, 175,000 a year. And you should see some of them houses in Lincoln Park. It's very nice. And so you should take your children to tour Lincoln Park and the North Shore and Burr Ridge and Oak Brook and the whole nine. Lake Forest. We can't come up there to Lake Forest in your hoopty. You gotta be careful because the police will stop you. But just roll through Sheridan Road and go up Sheridan Road, start in Evanston and keep going all the way north. It's unbelievable. You need to see it. So where was I? Clean neighborhoods, safe neighborhoods with excellent schools. We need to see that. You know what? I messed up. I was supposed to have a beginning of a show. Well, whatever. Okay. Let me take a break. I forgot to start my show, and I'm going to take a break, and hopefully this all makes sense.